My best friend betrayed me in the most heart-wrenching. Emily and I's friendship blossomed in the 7th grade. I was the new girl at school, painfully shy and struggling to find my place. On my first day, I was standing alone in the cafeteria, unsure of where to sit, when Emily bounded over with a huge smile on her face. "Hey, you can sit with me," she said, her voice bubbly and inviting. From that moment on, we were inseparable. We shared lockers, swapping notes about teachers, boys, and our latest crushes. After school, we'd head to one of our houses, raid the kitchen for snacks, and spend hours listening to music, doing each other's makeup, and talking about our dreams. Emily dreamed of becoming a renowned fashion designer, creating pieces that would grace the runways of Paris and New York. I, on the other hand, was fascinated by graphic design, imagining a future where I could bring ideas to life through colors and shapes. High school was a rollercoaster ride, but we faced every challenge together. When I was heartbroken after my first boyfriend broke up with me, Emily spent an entire weekend at my house. She held me as I sobbed, ordered copious amounts of pizza, and even staged a mock funeral for my failed relationship in my backyard. When she was diagnosed with a minor health issue that required regular checkups, I made sure to accompany her to every doctor's appointment, offering words of encouragement and moral support. After graduating, we both moved to the bustling city, full of hope and excitement. We found a small, cozy apartment in a not-so-fancy neighborhood. The rent was affordable, but the place needed a lot of TLC. We spent our weekends painting the walls, scouring thrift stores for furniture, and turning the place into our own little haven. Emily started interning at a local fashion boutique, while I landed a job at a small graphic design agency. A week before the engagement party, I began to notice some odd changes in Emily's behavior. She seemed distant, lost in thought. Whenever I tried to talk to her about the party or our future plans, she would give me short, distracted answers. One evening, I came home from work to find her sitting on the couch, her eyes fixed on her phone. Her face was pale, and she had a worried frown on her face. "Emily, what's wrong?" I asked, concern lacing my voice. She quickly looked up, forced a smile, and said, "Oh, it's just work. They are really pushing us hard at the office." I nodded, believing her explanation, but a small part of me couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. As the engagement party approached, Emily's behavior became even more erratic. She missed several of our pre-party planning sessions, citing last-minute work emergencies. I was frustrated, but I understood that her job was important to her. On the day of the party, she showed up late, looking disheveled. She didn't even take the time to get dressed up properly, wearing a simple black dress that seemed out of place among the glamorous attire of the other guests. At the party, Emily was uncharacteristically quiet. Instead of flitting around the room, chatting with everyone, she was glued to Alex's side. I watched them from across the room, a sense of unease creeping over me. I tried to push the feeling aside, telling myself that they were just getting to know each other better. But then, I saw them disappear into the backyard. Curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to follow them. As I approached the French doors leading to the backyard, I heard hushed voices. I strained to listen, but I couldn't make out what they were saying. When I finally stepped outside, they both turned around, their faces registering shock. Emily stammered, "Lily, we were just talking about your surprise honeymoon. Alex wanted some ideas." Alex nodded in agreement, but his eyes were darting around nervously. Over the next few weeks, the signs of something amiss only multiplied. Alex started coming home late from work, claiming that he had to stay late at the office to finish important projects. But one evening, when I called his office to see if he wanted me to pick up dinner, his secretary told me he had left hours ago. I was confused and worried. When Alex finally got home, I asked him about it. He seemed flustered, mumbling something about going for a drink with colleagues to unwind. I didn't believe him, but I didn't want to start an argument. Emily also started cancelling our plans at the last minute. We had planned a girls' night out to celebrate my engagement, but she called me an hour before, saying she had a family emergency. This happened several times, and each time, I felt a growing sense of suspicion. One night, I decided to surprise Alex at work. I brought his favorite takeout, thinking we could have a romantic dinner together. When I arrived at his office building, I saw him and Emily walking out together. They were laughing and chatting like old friends. My heart sank. I watched as they got into a cab, and without thinking, I hailed another cab and followed them. They ended up at a fancy restaurant, and as I watched them through the window, they seemed very comfortable with each other. I stormed into the restaurant, confronting them. They both looked shocked to see me. Emily stuttered, Lily, it's not what it looks like. We just ran into each other and decided to grab a bite. Alex added, yeah, honey, it's purely coincidental. I wanted to believe them, but the evidence was staring me in the face. I left the restaurant in tears, feeling betrayed and confused. A few days later, I was looking for my phone charger in Alex's car. As I rummaged through the glove compartment, I found a receipt for a hotel room. The date on the receipt was the same day Alex had claimed to be working late. My hand started shaking, and my heart was pounding in my chest. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I immediately confronted Alex when he got home. At first, he tried to deny it, but when I showed him the receipt, he broke down. He confessed that he and Emily had been having an affair for the past 3 months. He said it had started as a harmless flirtation. One day, they had run into each other at a coffee shop, and the conversation had turned flirty. From there, it had escalated into a full-blown affair. I was devastated. I couldn't believe that the two people I trusted the most in the world had betrayed me. I called Emily, and she didn't even try to deny it. She said she was in love with Alex and thought he loved her too. I felt like I was in a nightmare, unable to wake up. I told Alex to leave, and I started packing his things. He begged me to forgive him, but I was too angry and hurt. The next few weeks were a blow of pain and confusion. I called in sick to work, spending most of my days in bed, crying. I couldn't eat, sleep, or concentrate. I felt like I had lost a part of myself. I had always thought that my relationship with Alex was perfect, and my friendship with Emily was unbreakable. But now, everything had changed. I started to question everything. How could they have done this to me? Was our friendship all a lie? I felt a deep sense of betrayal, not just by Alex, but by Emily, too. She was supposed to be my best friend, the person I could always count on. One day, I decided to go through some old photo albums. As I flipped through the pages, I saw pictures of Emily and me throughout the years. There were pictures of us at our high school prom, celebrating our birthdays, and going on vacations. I started to cry, thinking about all the memories we had shared. I couldn't believe that it had all come to this. Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, I received a call from Alex. He sounded desperate. He told me that Emily had been blackmailing him. She had threatened to tell me about their affair unless he continued to see her. She had even threatened to ruin his career. He said he had never wanted to hurt me and that he still loved me. I was shocked. I didn't know whether to believe him or not. But as I thought about it, things started to make sense. Emily's strange behavior, her constant need for attention, everything pointed to the fact that she had been manipulating both of us. I decided to confront Emily. I went to her apartment, and when she opened the door, she looked surprised to see me. She tried to close the door, but I pushed my way in. I showed her the evidence that Alex had given me, and she broke down. She admitted that she had been jealous of my relationship with Alex. She had always been envious of the love and attention I had received, and she had done everything in her power to destroy it. I realized that I couldn't let Emily's actions define me. I deserved to be happy, and I wasn't going to let her get away with what she had done. I decided to file a restraining order against her to keep her away from me and Alex. Alex and I decided to give our relationship another try. It wasn't easy. There were a lot of trust issues to work through. We went to couples therapy, where we learned to communicate better and rebuild the trust that had been broken. It took time, but slowly, we started to heal. Today, I'm in a much better place. I've learned a valuable lesson about trust and betrayal. I've also realized that sometimes, the people we least expect can hurt us the most, but through it all, I've become stronger, and I'm grateful for the second chance I've been given. As I look back on that fateful engagement party, I know that it was the beginning of a difficult journey, but it also led me to a place of self-discovery and growth. I've also reconnected with some old friends and made new ones. I've thrown myself into my work, and my career as a graphic designer is thriving. Alex and I are taking things slow, but we are happier than ever. And as for Emily, I've learned to let go of the anger and resentment. I don't wish her any ill will, but I know that our friendship is over. Life is full of surprises, and sometimes, the most painful experiences can lead to the greatest growth.